the question that we've been asked is like, hey, uLaw does so much of my accounting, reconciliation. Is there an amazing way to do a financial dashboard? The answer is yes. We right here have FinSight Dashboard. So if you just click on it, it starts loading your dashboard and it starts showing you all your stuff. As you see here, it shows you the net profit, for the year. You can just change it to a monthly view or a quarterly view or a yearly view, but by default will show you the yearly profit. It also shows you pending trust transfers. Clearly here, you have been, not on top and missing a lot of pending trust transfers, right? It shows you upcoming birthdays. What I really like is it puts not just the profit and loss here by numbers, but it also shows you by graphs, so you know by month how you are. And if you want to just focus on the revenue, you can just click here and get rid of your expenses, and it shows you all your revenues. And if you want to just focus on the expense, you can just get rid of the expense revenue, and then it shows you that. But if you put both side by side, it tells you how it is. Same thing for the invoice balance. You can just say, hey, how much is my client owes versus my pending trust transfers from my invoice balance. Okay, now it shows you who's the highest client for whom you're not paid. It also gives you some compliance metrics, where are you really behind the park, right? Some matter invoice numbers. This is a beautiful graph. It shows you like a 90-day view of your bill versus collected. But I love this one because this gives you an yearly view, how good you are in collecting the invoices that you actually have done. Okay, it gives you a very nice view. And this is where you can look at just the collected, or you can just look at the invoice, you by just clicking on it. And you can do a 365 view, you can do a 90-day view, right? You can just do that and it'll show you the 90-day view, 180 view, or a 365 view. And then we keep going down, there's a revenue, there's by area of practice, right? You can do a year to date, monthly, quarterly, it tells you how you're doing. What I like about the revenue and the expenses, it shows you not just the month to date, it shows you the last month and the month prior. So you know whether you went up, going down, how things are. Like from here you went up, but now you're trending down. It kind of gives you that feel of how revenue is and how expenses are. Okay, so that gives you a good feeling of where you're thinking about the business. And then here we've broken down revenue and expenses, so that way you know how things are flowing. There's a client acquisition status. We have a trust view for reconciliation, how far you are. Clearly this account is not being reconciled properly. And then we have receivables, right? It gives you all your by client, how many days that they have not paid you, and you can look at that. There's a trust balance view, right? How many clients have trust balances. There's an acquisition view of matter, right? And then this is matter invoice balance. These are the people for whom you are missing to collect the money today. For example, for this matter, MH, blah, blah, there's a $16,000 of pending trust transfer. So you can go back and start, recovering that money. Okay, then there's a trust balance. I love this one. This one shows you an all time. So these are the ones where it's just money sitting in trust and you haven't done anything for this many days. But there's also a 1 year view, a 2 year view, and a less than 1 year. These are the ones that you need to pay attention pretty quickly. Okay. Similarly for kind invoice balance, these are clients who have not been paying you, right? You either do a write off or get rid of it, or you need to take some action on that one. Okay. And then there's this amazing trust cash flow. That's hey, how money is coming in, deposits and withdrawal. I like a 360 view on that. That kind of tells you how money was coming and how you've been playing yourself. We also have some WIP, work in progress, right? For example, this shows you hey, all these matters you've not billed, right? And then some of them, there's even trust balance and you're not billed, right? And this shows you by aging, right? Hey, this one is 500 days. This is this is 57 days that you've not been billing, right? Similarly, we combine here all three together, right? You have your unbilled flats, your disbursements. So you can just click here and just look at your disbursements, how you not bill them. When you add them with your billables, and then your hours. These are your hours that you're not billed, right? At flat rates, we combine them all and you can play with them. Okay. We have separated the flat rate and the disbursement into a separate chart. and unbilled hours into a separate chart, so that way you can kind of enjoy that. And finally, it comes down to taxation. So we kind of tell you like, hey, by quarter, by month, and by year to date, how is your taxes have been, and we compare it to the last year. And then we also give you a view whether you're owing or or you need a refund. Okay, so overall, like an amazing dashboard, like it does everything for you. Use features like by clicking on them to just like kind of see what it does, right? Like and you can use this like by changing it to 90 days, 365. Just get a view for your business, right? It's very important to see how you're doing in your stuff.